So it's the Princess Elizabeth Cup for schoolboy 8s, and on the left-hand side of the screen in the black boat, it's Hampton School, last year's beaten semi-finalists. Not many of that crew returning here, and on the right-hand side of your screen, it's Shrewsbury School, and they have started. And I think that was a good start from Hampton School with the yellow blades. Perhaps a little tentative from Shrewsbury School, but they rode a fantastic race in the National Schools Regatta, very competitive, and I guess Shrewsbury School on the right, most people's favourites for this race.
Yeah, these are two big kind of schools in this particular event. They've both got history of winning the event, and Hampton have had the best season, injuries, and they didn't make the final in that school, so that was obviously disappointing, and Shrewsbury came 5th. So both crews really on paper are quite similar. It's just who gets the better race plan going into this big kind of duel. And
of course, Shrewsbury School, coached by Athol Hundermark. There we see a shot of the Hampton School stroked by Jack Rhodes, Chris Zahn behind him. And Hampton seem to have taken a significant lead from the Shrewsbury crew. Well, let's talk about Hampton as they're in that Black Hudson boat, coached of course by Neil Double, famous Hampton schoolboy himself, and coaches Britain's crews, and they do look to be rowing well. Great cohesion in that boat.
Yeah, that's a big turnaround from where they raced earlier in the season. You know, they've really committed to what they were trying to do, and they didn't let the performance in that school hinder them, and they've really come out and worked on some things and, you know, progressed on, and this is a big scalp for them to take today.
So we're seeing a bit of an upset here. Hampton School not in the final of National School. Shrewsbury School on the left of your picture as you look at it. They were very much in contention for a medal until the last 500 metres. But what have Hampton put into the first part of this race? Of course, it's a mark of Athol Hundermark's crews. When he coached at Abingdon, they always have a fantastic second half. I remember seeing them in the school's head of the river come through. So this race is not done and dusted yet. And, well, there's a great shot of Jack Rhodes, the Hampton stroke. And these boys very focused down the boat. They're not looking out at all, are they?
No, they'll be totally focused in their bubble, doing their thing, trusting and believing every word that Cox puts down. So they'll be committing for every single stroke just to try and open up a bit more water between them and Shrewsbury.
It's not quite clear water as we go past Upper Thames Rowing Club. The boys have probably got about 2.5, 3 minutes of rowing. So I'd say this race isn't over yet. I mean, as you look at Shrewsbury School, closest to us in the yellow alpaca, do you think they've got what it takes to come back on Hampton?
They don't look like they're panicking. They look like they're in their bubble doing their thing, and they haven't lost contact with Hampton. So Hampton could be towing them along, and then if they do get a sniff and that Cox gives them the feedback, you know, he's the eyes in the back of the athletes' heads, he's telling them where they are, they've got to stay focused in what they're doing. You could see them start to creep back up and in contention with this.
So there was a look round from George Patterson in the stroke seats, and he wants to know where the crew are, and his Cox, Thomas Shields, well, we can see Thomas Shields there. Camera pans across to Hampton, and of course their Cox, Christian Toombs. He's got his eyes in. They will be so focused on what they want to do. I think, if anything, Shrewsbury School in the yellow boat that's closest to you have moved back a little bit on Hampton, and I think this could be anybody's race, but camera angles may be deceptive. How do you read it, Mark?
Yeah, it looks like Hampton still have the lead. You know, Shrewsbury seem to be moving back, and you know, Hampton really need to dig in now, because if Shrewsbury get a sniff and they get close, you know, the excitement and confidence the crew gets from that just draws you up, and then just really kind of helps you pounce onto the crew.
So Shrewsbury School now, we look at them, they're desperately trying to make the distance up on Hampton, rowing in their yellow alpaca shell. The camera's just moving down. They've still got work to do. It's Hampton School. This is a turn up. The form book is not really going according to how we thought it might do. Hampton School have a lead, but it's not a big lead as they come down to the last 200-300 metres.
This is when you want the Cox to draw every ounce of training you've done in the last 8 months leading into this. You know, these kids have dreamt about this time to come to Henley, an opportunity to try and win here, so they will not want to go out on the first day. You know, they will want to get through to tomorrow to progress on to hopefully future days.
Yeah, I think the winner of this race will race Westminster tomorrow, who of course are the very, very strong favourites for this event. But the camera's panning to Hampton School, and Christian Toombs, the Cox, just checked. Shrewsbury School, I think, are gaining, but it looks as if Hampton have a bit of a race-winning lead. But Hampton, they're holding on, and we get a closer look as we get the camera onto the finish. It looks like Hampton's race in the black boat from Shrewsbury School on this near side. A few more strokes to go past the packed stewards grandstand. There's Shrewsbury, there's the shot in the finish. You can see for yourselves that probably is a race-winning lead. An upset coming up here. Hampton School take the heat of the Princess Elizabeth Cup. There they go, across the finishing line, a close race from Shrewsbury School, and the sixth man in the Hampton boat, Bryn Hassan, lies back, and that is a fantastic result, and you would not have picked that coming into this race. A tremendous race for the boys and their coach, Neil Double. That Hampton School have managed to beat Shrewsbury, who did so well in the National Schools final. Well done, lads. You'll have a great race tomorrow against the favourites, Westminster.